announcements.
Yes. Wherever you do the announcements from. It's Kathy Daniels. And if you forget, I'll... Thank you.
Good morning. Oh, Dad, gum thing just doesn't like me. I think I knock that off every week or several times a week. So, hi, good morning. Good morning. So, notice our sign here. I am feeling infinitely splendid. How are you feeling? Okay. Just in memory of Robert this morning. We're all infinitely splendid. So, is there anyone here for the first time today? I think I recognize all the faces, so welcome. Glad you're here this morning, deciding to spend your Labor Day here at Woodland Chapel. Of course, I really don't like to be out anywhere else on Labor Day. Too much traffic. So who all was at the outdoor service last week? A lot of you. Was that not so much fun? I think that was just one of our most fun outdoor services. So I am really actually looking forward to next year's one. That really was a delight. So, Kathy Daniels, I believe you have an announcement?
Yes. Do we have this on? Is this on? I think he's going to turn it on in a minute. Hello? 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 Is it on now? Okay. I can't right now. Yeah, I have to sit down right now. Okay, so people have been anxious to hear about the rummage sale, so I kind of made some notes. So it's kind of a long announcement, but people have been wanting to know. So we had at least 14 volunteers help with the rummage sale over 3 days. And so I would ask first those people who were here all 3 days, would you please stand? Yeah, all 3 days. Yes. Okay. And all who volunteered, please stand. Join those people in standing. Everybody that volunteered.
All right.
Okay.
Many thanks. Wow.
Big applause. And then anybody who donated things. And now I'm thinking that's going to be just about everybody in the congregation. Okay, thank you. Yeah, if you shopped, okay, very good, that's right. That was just as important, right? Yeah. Very good. At least, by my count, we had at least 15 households donated items for sale, a lot of them. All of it was delivered on Thursday, August 18th. There was a lot of stuff. Anybody that was here saw that. Thursday entailed a lot of moving and organizing of stuff. It was hard work, but fun because everybody was working together. Volunteers got the first chance to buy things, and several of us did. Mary and Satya found cute matching shirts, which they are modeling here for us today. I found a couple of nice journals and some other things, and others found things they couldn't live without. We had several visits from people from the group that was meeting upstairs, both Thursday and Friday, and they came back to shop on Friday, and that was nice. I want to recognize 2 people who went above and beyond in helping make the sale a success. Greg Onstadt arrived early Friday, well before opening time of 9 a.m., and when I arrived at 8:45, there were probably 10 to 12 people all lined up outside the door, waiting for the opening. Greg was at the door waiting for me to arrive and open up, and the people in line greeted me with a cheery, "Hi, Kathy," when I got here. And so he kept them happy waiting, and a lot of times that's not always the case when people are waiting for something. So I call Greg the line tamer. And then Friday afternoon, we hit a slow period in the afternoon, and not many people coming in. And noticing around that time, Mary Riversong thought, let's see, we noticed that Mary Riversong wasn't in the room. And Satya said she probably was resting in the car. And so that's what we thought, and then time went on. Some more people started coming in and said they were driving by and were waved into the sale. It turns out Mary had gone up and was standing by the street waving in passersby. Yay! Yeah, she was doing a lot of tricks up there. And then a couple of things, too, of note I thought interesting. Carmen brought a couple of things, an SLR camera bag, all the attachments, and put a price on it of $50. Sometime on Friday, a young woman came in, looked around briefly, picked up that, looked through it, and come up and plunked down a $50 bill with a big smile, and she was very happy. She was going to be the one taking pictures. And it was a film camera. It was exactly what she wanted. And then the other thing, one of the things that Carmen brought was a baseball mitt and 3 baseballs, and that also went for the asking price of $25. And anybody that's ever done a rummage sale, you know that is unusual the first day or any day for people to just walk up and pay the price. So that was kind of interesting. We made, for those that didn't hear, we made $901. And then our money counter, Gail, added the balance to make it even $1,000 deposit to the bank. So we want to just thank everybody.
So volunteers got first pick, so what you're saying is it pays to be a volunteer, right? Absolutely. So thank you. And I'm sure that was just like work, but a lot of fun for everyone. And
I would just add one little thing. If you haven't looked at your Joyful News for the month, you'll find pictures, and Mary's on it out there waving the cars in too. So anyway, it was a great success. Good job.
So thank you, everyone. And we are just thrilled to have Darcy and Brent here this morning for our music, and Reverend Moore to deliver our inspirational message. So I guess we need to stand and sing and bring joy into the sanctuary.
To think God was the Son, God is the Son, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, to shine His light as me, as you so use me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I command my life. It's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. But God needs us to shine his light. Say it again. God needs us to shine his light. One more time, we know this. God needs us to shine his light as me, oh, as you, so use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Yeah.
Yes. And so now it's time for our invocation. Reverend Moore, can I ask you to do our
happy to
invocation
do
this
the
morning?
invocation.
Yes.
Let's just take a nice deep breath and release it. For we know that it is in the breathing of the in and the out that the life of God circulates in each one of us. That life that is eternal is present right here and right now. It's present everywhere. And we are some part of that greatness, of that goodness, of that energy, of that life. Feel the life as it surges through your body now. Feel it extend into your hands and your feet and your head, throughout your entire beingness. As you experience life, you are experiencing the very heart of the universe. For the life of God is what implodes into expression as the life of each person and the beingness of every form that is, and the goodness that lies at the heart of everything. So I invite you now to become aware of that goodness that lives in your heart. And let it open. Let it open to yourself. Let it open to everyone who knows you. Let it open to the world. Let it support you in all the good things that you do. Good thoughts, good words, good actions. For each one here and everyone is an expression of that one goodness that we call God. What a joy it is to be aware, to be alive, to be awake. And as we know this, let us say together, and so it is. I believe there's an invocation in our program. If we'd like to turn to that page. Okay. For the affirmation. Did I say affirmation? Okay, affirmation. I know my entire activity is my work as spiritual being, crafting my life in the flow of the Spirit, always moving forward for my highest and best experiences, and so it is. Now we'd like to invite John to come forward with his companion to read.
And you'll notice the word, as John comes forward, the word work in our affirmation. And just say, remind you this month, every month we have a theme. And the talks are based on that theme. And this month, the theme is work. So, yeah. Welcome, John. Thank you for...
They have a way of falling off
Yeah,
today.
those are wicked, aren't they?
Good morning, friends. We'll start off with a brief quote from Ernest Holmes of Science of Mind, page 152. The time is now, the place is where we are, and it is done unto us as we believe. And the reading goes on. As metaphysicians, we believe the essence of a thing does not exist in its form, but in the thought that precedes it. Accepting the expansive nature of life, it seems obvious that what we think today must become enhanced and expanded in form tomorrow. What I know to be true in this minute is a shadow of potential in the next. The universe conspires to evolve. An acorn becomes an oak tree. A child becomes an adult. Rain becomes a river. A bulb becomes a flower. An idea becomes a thing. Fear becomes enlightenment. And consciousness continues its ever-moving process of flowing towards truth. The universe always enhances. What we know to be true today is actually a limited reflection of what will be true tomorrow. There is something greater at work here, more powerful, present, and clear than what I know today. I trust this process and await its unfoldment. I plant the seeds of my experiences tomorrow with care today. The thoughts, beliefs, and actions I take are always pregnant with my desires for tomorrow. I am careful with my thoughts and actions, knowing they are the cause of my future effects. And a little affirmation to finish us off. I live and think today what I want tomorrow.
And as we prepare for our beautiful, beautiful musician here, I just want to say, wow, aren't those readings powerful? And I believe those come from the Science of Mind magazine. So if you don't have a subscription or you don't have a copy, there's copies for sale in the library. And to begin each day with a reading like that, wow, that was awesome. And thank you, John. Yeah. Darcy, Brent.
Oh gosh, it reminded me when I was a kid. Am I on now? I don't. Okay. He's afraid I'm going to get really loud. I understand that fear. Lived with that all my life. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a lawyer. That's what I was going to be. In fact, I was so sure I was going to be it that I actually got accepted into they have a pre-like jurisprudence program at the Willamette University, just down the street. And I thought that's what I wanted to do. And I was sure it was. And then one night, I got asked to do a song for a concert at school. And I wasn't supposed to be doing the song. It was usually done by a senior. I was a junior. And they said, well, we need you to do it. She's sick. And I had a heart attack, and then I was all right. Because I knew the song. Come on, give me a break here. I was ready. But I was nervous, and so I did it. And I stood in front of 350 kids, sang this solo, very powerful song. Some of you may know it. In fact, To God Be the Glory. My school did that song. I know it's a religious song. But anyway, and I got a standing ovation and an encore. And I remember walking back to the car I kind of flew back to the car. I don't know that I was touching the ground. I was so excited. It was so beautiful. Got into the car. I'm sitting in the back seat. Said, Mom, I need to talk to you about something. All right. She takes the rearview mirror and goes, hit, so she can see me. And she says, yes. And I said, I want to be a singer. Well, you already are, Darce. No. like in school, like in college. My mom goes, my mom, you know, I have to know my mom to know how funny this was, because my mom is a very, very calm, very straight person. And she looks in the mirror and she goes, "You don't suppose you could be a singing attorney?" Anyway, Mom was always worried that I was going to sleep in my car. I'm proud to say I have never. But so anyway, she wrote this song to kind of talk to me about that concept of knowing what you were going to do and sticking to that and being there, even if nobody else saw you. It was where you were placed. It's called Bloom. I'm ready. You say the folks in Africa are starving and alone. Well, I've sent others to Africa, but I need you here at home. I've given you a special place, and in this special time, I've given you my love, my light. So come on, shine and bloom where you are planted now. Don't look so far away, for satisfaction in your life can happen every day. If you bloom where you are planted, your mission is quite clear. How can I send you somewhere else if you're not blooming here? I placed you in an office, in a restaurant, in a school. Well, my light is sometimes dimmer there, so that's where I need you. I've given you the tools you need, the power, strength, and peace, and you can let your love come through each message that you speak. If you will bloom where you are planted now, don't look so far away, for satisfaction in your life, well, it can happen every day. If you bloom where you are planted, your mission is quite clear. How can I send you somewhere else if you're not blooming here? Yeah. I've put you in a road crew, on an aeroplane or on a bus. There simply is no place in life where there's no need of us. If you are willing to be the missionary I need, I'll always be right there with you as you feed my flock. You see, bloom where you are planted. Don't look so far away, for satisfaction in your life can happen every day. If you bloom where I have planted you, your mission is quite clear. How can I send you somewhere else if you're not blooming here? If you begin to feel a calm from deep within, you'll know that I have found a different need, a need for you, and you must go. But in the present, child, my dad, do all you can do here. If it were not important to me, I would not have placed you here. Bloom where you're planted. Don't look so far away, for satisfaction in your life, ooh, it could happen this day. If you bloom where I have planted you, your mission is quite clear. How can I send you somewhere else? Why would I send you somewhere else? I'm not gonna send you somewhere else if you're not blooming here. Bloom where you are planted now.
All right, Doris. I am so glad you decided to sing.
That girl can bend a note. She is really good. Hi, Julie. Okay. I guess I'm on. All right. Good morning, my friends. Good morning. Oh, yes. We have enjoyed such a beautiful start to today's service, have we not? Yeah. Darcy and Brent, Reverend Julie, our practitioner, and our reader, John, and our AV technician, Aaron, up there, and Jim has been helping. Yes. And we look forward to enjoying the work of Susie and Greg this morning, who set up our hospitality. Yes. I have two words to say. Good work. Yes, good work. And that is the theme for today's talk. Good work. Now, I feel as if everyone involved has brought their A game this week. Whether they speak, they sing, they play, perform, doesn't matter. It comes from their hearts. And that is the core of true celebration, of true worship. It comes from the heart. Yes. And we live our values every day as we live from the heart, because we do everything we do to honor that one source, that infinite goodness, that joy and energy, which we like to call God itself, or life, or energy. It goes by so many names. So I say again, good work, not only to those who have served or are serving this morning, but also to you who participate in our Sunday celebration right now, in our center, or anytime on the internet. You made it here. Of the multitude of other activities that could legitimately occupy your time, golf, for example, or whatever, you have chosen to celebrate life here with us. Congratulations and good work to all of you. I would like to just take a brief moment to honor Labor Day, to honor laborers everywhere. As you do know, tomorrow is Labor Day, and it was a holiday created for the United States of America by Congress and the signing by the president in 1913, but only after 23 states had already proclaimed the first Monday in September a holiday. Did you know that Oregon was the first state to approve that measure? Yeah, in 1887. It's been a while ago. 4 other states followed fairly soon after that. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, Labor Day is a federal holiday established to recognize the many contributions workers have made to America's strength, prosperity, and well-being. We honor the men and women in our labor force, and I value their associations and their united efforts to improve their lives and ours. You see, Labor Day has come to have another meaning over time besides honoring laborers. And I think maybe for many, this is the key of it. It marks kind of the end of the summer season and the beginning of the fall. Is that right? Is that pretty much what it is? Okay. Now there's someone here, we're going to talk about work today, and there's someone here that would like to read a poem about work. Good work. Michelle?
And this one is not mine, but it is The Messenger by Mary Oliver. Yeah, I was going to move that thing. Let's see. The Messenger by Mary Oliver. Better. My work is loving the world. Here the sunflowers, there the hummingbird, equal seekers of sweetness. Here the quickening yeast, there the blue plums, here the clam deep in the speckled sand. Are my boots old? Is my coat torn? Am I no longer young and still not half perfect? Let me keep my mind on what matters, which is my work, which is mostly standing still and learning to be astonished. The phoebe, the delphinium, the sheep in the pasture, and the pasture, which is mostly rejoicing since all ingredients are here, which is gratitude to be given a mind and a heart and these body clothes, a mouth with which to shout or give shouts of joy to the moth and the wren, to the sleepy dug-up clam, telling them all over and over how it is that we live forever. That's that. And I would also, which was really good that Reverend Moore said something about the work of heart, because one example of a work of heart that I see every time I come here is what all the reverends, Julie and Moore and Dawn, and all the practitioners, they are a living, breathing example of a work of heart, and they give amazing things to us. So, big for them.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much, Michelle. I wasn't expecting that last little bit. Yeah, it wasn't too scary. She said she was going to do something I wasn't expecting this morning. I thought, okay, well, whatever. Oh, our work is a work of love, is it not? Let's talk a little bit about work and about good. And first we'll start talking about work. Now, there's a surprise, I did a little research as usual, a surprising number of definitions of work in the Oxford Dictionary. It lists 8 definitions for the noun work and 6 definitions for the verb work. So that's quite a few, is it not? Now, the ones that most apply for our talk here today are the first 4. Mental or physical activity as a means of earning income or employment. Everybody, work is, right, work for money, everybody's done that out here somewhere? Yeah. I have, certainly. Activity involving the mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or a result. What? What kind of result? Anybody? A result is something you've worked for really hard to see something happen. Maybe you've seen a classroom come together of children that you're teaching. Maybe you've constructed something, a piece of machinery perhaps. Or a task or tasks to be undertaken, something a person or thing a person just has to do, something we have to do. That's all work, right? Now, each of these definitions, I believe, are valid and play a part in our understanding of the world of work. But there is more. Wait, there's more to it. If you've read the Science of Mind magazine this month, Karen Frost, in this issue, points to a whole different dimension. Okay? She writes, "In my life, the concept of work is less about my profession and more about the work as the way I co-create the life of joy with spirit. Writing does not feel like work to me. Writing is my joy. I am grateful to have taken my mother's advice, co-creating my life with spirit and feeling like I have never worked a day in my life." Oh, that was the phrase that she said her mother taught her. Do what you love and you will never work a day in your life. That's a thought, isn't it? Now, in my experience, this means when we do what we love and we earn income from it, we do not have to live in drudgery that is sometimes associated with work. It's more than that. It isn't work, work, work. It's joy, joy, joy. Yeah, yeah. Let's still talk a little bit about good. Okay, good is a nice word, isn't it? Again, the Oxford Dictionary lists over 20 meanings for the word good. The first 4 definitions are useful for today's talk. Being positive or desirable in nature, useful, of high quality, of moral excellence. Those are the 4. But let's go a little bit deeper. How many of you have studied, read, or heard about Emma Curtis Hopkins? Anybody? Yes, quite a number. Okay, if you haven't, she's an excellent author. She's known as the teacher of teachers, and she taught many of the founders of the New Thought movement, including our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, and the co-founders of Unity, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. She taught a lot of folks. Here is some of what she said in her book, Scientific Christian Mental Practice. Emma asserts that every creature follows its good, In fact, she indicates that the whole world seeks its good. Every creature, from mankind down to the lowest form of life you can think of, maybe the worms in the ground, all follow their good. She says, and I quote, "The first name of God is good, and the first name of good is God." She says, "I am seeking my good, and my good is my God, because it draws and pushes and moves me on. There is good for me, and I ought to have it." Now, this is the very first of Emma's 12 metaphysical principles. There is good enough for everyone and what we seek in life. As my good is my God, God is my good. Now, there is always a lesson to be learned from the parables of Jesus of Nazareth. Do you remember the story of the 10 talents? Does everybody remember that pretty much how it goes? It's pretty straightforward. Well, just briefly, it's a story of a rich man who leaves 3 servants in charge of various amounts of money as he leaves for a very long trip. They received 5, 2, and 1 talents, each according to his ability. Now, when the master returned after a long time, he rewarded the 2 servants who had used their talents wisely and threw the one who did not out into the darkness. Now, the turn of phrase that is used in his parable for the 2 servants is striking and can be seen to set a tone for what work is meant to be. This is in Matthew chapter 25. And I quote, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness." So the reward for good work is more responsibility. That's what happens. And happiness, because you know how to handle the responsibility. You've proven it. And the outcome of poor work is having less and probably some unhappiness in life. Now, a metaphysical interpretation of parables usually brings the parable into the personal. You look at it as what's within the individual. And the rich man, then, is our soul, our higher self, the divine within. The 3 servants are 3 ways of our handling our life's work. The more we trust ourselves to use our gifts, the more we leap into life with gusto and faith, the more we are rewarded, and the happier we are. When we hold back in fear and do not act, we are separated from even the good that we have. Profound meanings found in parables. We also can find some inspiration in the teaching of Buddha, who taught about right livelihood as one of the 8-fold path statements, right livelihood. You all heard about right livelihood? It's a basic concept in Buddhism. Vietnamese Zen teacher Thich Nhat Hanh wrote in his book, The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching. To practice right livelihood, he gives a, what do they call it? Samyang of Hiva. It's a Hindu for it. You have to find a way to learn about your living without transgressing your ideals of love and compassion. That's what we started talking about, didn't we? The way you support yourself can be an expression of your deepest self, or it can be a source of suffering for you and others. Our vocation can nourish our understanding and compassion or erode them. We should be awake to the consequences far and near of the way we earn our living. So good work in the Buddhist tradition is living so that you can support yourself and be compassionate and loving, wise and calm. Now, we can deduce from this foundation of research that good work is God's work. For the goodness of the infinite lies at the core of its creation, all creation. The goodness that we seek expresses itself from our heart and our soul. It's our inner goodness in line with the goodness of all that is good. For you see, all is good, and all is God. Using Emma's idea, all is good, all is God. What a powerful thought we can bring to life. Now, sometimes it's rather fun to find an acronym that works. See if you agree that these might help carry today's message. For good, God opens other doors. Like that one? Or how about this one? Give of ourselves daily. Good. Huh? I like that one. Now, for work, it's a little trickier, but worthwhile opportunities through resources and knowledge. Or wonderful opportunities, resources, and knowledge. That last, the wonderful one, fits our natural theme, our annual theme of everyday wonder, which Reverend Julie mentioned earlier. Now, I think we have something here. Give of yourself daily as God opens other doors for you to use your wonderful opportunities, resources, and knowledge. Good work. Now, work. Work is more than a task, more than a place, more than the grind or the job or the function, or merely a means to an end. It's more than an activity that encompasses mental or physical effort experienced to achieve a purpose or result. Maybe you're working to get a home, a new car, a different tax bracket, or power. In any case, what we find today is that the metaphysical understanding of work includes the idea that Karen Frost brought to us, that work is the way I co-create joy in my life and the life of others with spirit. I fulfill my goodness when I work in the present moment, aware of Spirit's call to goodness. So what reveals itself today is the wonder of work. We spend a lot of our time working, at least I have over my career, and I suppose most of us have. Let's realize that the infinite possibility that lies in our work. Now remember that work is not just what you do for employment. It can be what you do to volunteer, to help. It can be projects you do for yourself. It can be a hobby you take kind of seriously, maybe, I don't know, singing or collecting stamps or bowling even. You can be a good bowler, right? Yeah. Isn't it great when you throw one of those strikes and somebody says, wow, good work. Yeah. So let's discover within ourselves the wonder of work, the wow factor, if you will, the wonder of work. Another acronym. Socrates has said, wonder is the beginning of wisdom. When we work, we give of ourselves daily in the very moment that God opens other doors. We bring insight and inspiration to our work. Working becomes the life expressing itself, and we are the conduit and the embodiment of good. Now, good work comes to us in our belief and in our behavior. Let's talk about belief. The wonder of work rests in our belief, in our faith. Remember, it is done to you as you believe. Now, at this point, we may want to examine our faith in ourselves and the strength of our beliefs. Do we really believe we can bring a sense of wonder into our daily activities? Whether our work is for pay, as a volunteer, or just something we do to be happy, can we invite new possibilities into our lives and really expect good to emerge? If so, just how strongly do we believe that? Here's a brief story about the strength of our beliefs. It involves a professional tightrope walker and an invitation. There was a tightrope walker who did incredible and aerial feats. All over Paris, he would do glorious tightroping acts at tremendously scary heights. Then when he had succeeding acts, he would do it blindfolded. And then he would go across the tightrope blindfolded, pushing a wheelbarrow. An American promoter read about this in the papers and wrote a letter to the tightrope walker saying, "Tightrope, I don't believe you can do it, but I'm willing to make you an offer. For a very substantial sum of money, besides all your transportation expenses, I would like to challenge you to do your act over Niagara Falls." Now, tightrope walker wrote back, "Sir, although I've never been to America and seen the falls, I'd love to come." Well, after a lot of promotion and setting the whole thing up, many people came to see the event. Tightrope was to start on the Canadian side of the falls and come to the American side. Drums rolled, and he comes across the rope, which is suspended over the treacherous part of the falls, blindfolded. And he makes it across easily. The crowds go wild, cheering and excited about what's happened. He comes to the promoter and says, "Well, Mr. Promoter, now do you believe I can do it?" "Well, of course I do. I just saw you do it." "No," said the tightrope. "Do you really believe I can do it?" "Well, of course I do. You just did it." No, said tightrope. "Do you believe I can do it?" "Well, yes," said the promoter. "I believe you can do it." "Good," said the tightrope. "Then you get in the wheelbarrow." Do we really believe? Do we believe? Would you step into the wheelbarrow of wonder at your work? You don't have to answer that one out loud, but would you? We have someone who's going to share a story with us today, a story from her life, that I think illustrates some of these points. Cheryl, are you here? Where are you, dear? There you are. Would you like to come up now? Thank you. Do you know Cheryl Ostrander? She's one of our practitioners. She's done so many invocations for us. Welcome her. You coming over here?
You might want to stand up.
Right here is fine. Okay.
I try not to knock this off. I do it every time. I hear people there. Can you hear me okay? Okay. It's funny that Darcy's song almost introduces a lot of what I have to say today. When I was 5, I decided I wanted to be a cowboy. And you might imagine that didn't quite work out for me. Another decision I made about that time was my relationship with words. Words have always been important to me, and they've become tools, not just for expression, but for a bit of fun, for a bit of just in my everyday life. Words have been so important to me. So at some point in my life, moving forward from 5 and 6, I found myself a single mom. I didn't have a degree. I was a single mother with earning an entry-level wage and no child support available or even an option. So what did I do? I had always had a sense of a God in my life. I was frightened, I won't kid you. I was a little scared when I saw this before me, these years of raising a child alone with a low income. But I did have a love of words. And, I didn't see an option of using that to earn a living. I was working in an insurance office, and they didn't have much to say there. So I just forged forward. I didn't have a choice. What happened for me was many, many prayers and many, many decisions to look to my God. And many opportunities presented themselves. It's amazing. We're told that if we open our hearts to God, those opportunities will be there, and we'll be gifted in amazing ways that we didn't even see coming. I found myself creating training materials for a healthcare corporation. I found myself doing a variety of things. I learned a bit about graphics. I learned a bit about drafting. And I moved forward into that life, making the decision every day to turn to my inner self, to my higher self. My latest job came to me. I didn't even look for it. A friend approached me one day, and he knew I could write, but he didn't know much about what I wrote. He said, would you like a job as a technical writer? I was absolutely amazed because I'd never been approached to come to a job. I'd always applied for them. I'd always seek them. This job has been a process. It has been an outgrowth of all of the experience that preceded it, all of the decisions, all of the prayers. This job is, I'm compensated very well for what I do. I'm a technical writer that supports an agency of the Navy, and not everything I write is fun. Not everything I write is interesting, but I do know that the creative side of me presents something that's effective to the reader. And above all else, I've learned that I need to be of service to God's kids. So when it seems a little bit, well, I won't say boring, not out loud anyway, it might seem a little bit mundane, a little bit dry, I know that I am of service to God's kids in everything that I do. I've had a bit of fun with writing over the years. I've had the opportunity to write some skits and some plays and bring a little humor into my writing. And who knows what the future brings for this. But I do know that those decisions to turn to my inner self, those prayers, have brought me to this point in my life where I'm no longer a single mom looking for an opportunity. The opportunities have found me, because that's what happens here. I'd like to close with a few words from Anne Mordesai, which I have considered to be a friend now, this little book. She talks about the inner waters of wisdom. The greatest teacher is our own soul's connection with the source to access wisdom. Distortions within our human nature must be removed. Beliefs that do not serve, emotional attachments that cloud. We arrive in the present moment with no agenda of our own making. Here in the eternal present, a fountain begins to rise from within. It is the inner waters of wisdom, the essential wellspring of remembering. I believe that intuition, that has been that still small voice that Spirit whispers in my ear, leads me and led me here to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. I was really moved when you told me that story earlier. Yeah, hi there. When we've looked at our inner belief, when we've looked at how the strength of love actually influences our behavior, we dig deeply into who we are and what we can do. We know that there is within each one of us a unique story, an approach, and a beingness that expresses itself as life and expresses itself out into the world. And the higher part of our being helps reveal to us those talents and skills that we can bring. That it's natural, it just simply happens. And as we reveal them to ourselves, as Spirit reveals them to each one of us, we find the universe rushing in to support us, rushing in to help lift us up and be part of who we really are. Whether it can be any gift in the world. You've seen, if you watch things like cooking shows, you've seen chefs who've become world-renowned cooks and doing their magic with the saucepan and so forth. Doesn't most everybody here cook? No? Right? I mean, to some degree, all right? I can make a hamburger, you know? So they take a skill, or a skill comes out of them that just attracts attention, attracts the support of the universe, and it's really wonderful. Machado, the Spanish poet, penned this: "Wayfarer, there is no way. We make the way by walking." So no matter the work, no matter the task, the hobby, the project, the calling, good work can emerge every day in one's life. It could be gardening. It could be taking care of our grandchildren. It could be anything. It's a wonder that can be applied to the great, the small, the substantial, and the mundane. We are truly blessed by the work that we're called to do and that our beingness wants to express. When we allow the eternal goodness of the divine to flow through ourselves, the closer we get to letting our passion for good extend out into the world. Our talents emerge. We share the gifts. We develop the skills. We manifest the divine image of our goodness. Now, faith fans the eternal fire of love. As we looked at the story of the tightrope walker, faith plays a big role. As we heard Cheryl speak, faith and confidence in the divine plays a big role. As we heard Michelle say in the poem, my work is love for the world. Right? Yes, yes. The wonder of it all. When God opens other doors for us and reveals the wonder and the opportunities and the resources and the knowledge that we use to thrive in our work, in our lives, it's marvelous. We realize that God is everywhere and in everyone. And we meet our God who says to our soul and our work, and it says to, I think, both in this life and whatever happens in the next, it says, well done, my good and faithful friend. Good work. That is the truth for each of us. For we each have a unique story to tell. For each of us has lived a life unlike anyone else's. Our talents and gifts and skills have developed over our lifetimes. Let's use them to work from the heart as well as the mind. Now, even if you haven't found the work that you feel naturally expresses your goodness, even if we work for a paycheck and not much else, we can be in our inner goodness and bring it into play and can perform our works with joy. So that is the essence of the meaning of good work. Living from the heart, loving the world, being ourselves, and letting it all happen through the grace and the love that is divine. And so it is, my friends. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Moore. Wow, so much to think about. I kept thinking, okay, I got to remember that phrase, got to remember that. Thank you, and Cheryl and Michelle. Good information. Darcy.
Say, good work.
Good work. Good work. Yeah, good work, guys. Darcy.
I think Darcy's
Sometimes I think we make too much over our search for God. We build a building and declare Him there. We find a quiet place, all sun and air, and search the stillness for God there. Where is God? God is everywhere. In busy places where we meet, in every shop along the street, in every house, in every little town. God doesn't hide nor settle down in just one place. God's all around, thank heavens. God can always be found everywhere. Yes, even in the noisiest places too, God does abide. He is alive there inside of you. It's such an inner secret joy to talk with God, to know His peace, to feel His loving spirit bless our days, to see within our busy days the evidence of His loving ways, and so to sense that God's presence is everywhere. Oh, yes, even in the noisiest places, God does abide. He is alive there inside of you. And it's such an inner secret joy to talk with God, to know God's peace, to feel His loving spirit bless our days, to see within those busy days the evidence of God's loving ways, and so to sense that God's presence is everywhere. And so I sense that God's presence is where? Everywhere. Everywhere.
Wow. Yeah. Just a fantastic day all around. Thank you. And can the ushers come forward, please? We're going to, and as we prepare to give our offering, can we just remember it is done unto us as we believe. And as we give, so we shall receive. Kind of little phrases to remember. We're going to sing an offertory song, I release and I let go. And as we sing that song, I know most of us know it, so we'll just sing it without thinking of the words. But I just invite all of us to think of those words as we sing the song and really incorporate them into our being. All right. Oh, we have an offertory affirmation together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Yeah, it is.
So it is.
Here we go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God.
What a joy it is to be here with heart, mind, and soul today, to enjoy the company of such beautiful people who do such good work by choosing to be here this morning and contributing to the goodness of our community. So let us celebrate this good work in our heart of hearts and joy of joy as we pronounce a blessing on it and say, and so it is.
So I just want to say, let's give it up for Brent. Yes. I tell you, he channels divine music. I mean, he does. And he's giving us his time because I know he wants to go home and watch a ball game this afternoon. So it's true. All right.
Julie, were you there that day that Brent was playing everything fast and we couldn't figure out what was going on? And I said, Brent, what are you doing? He goes, Super Bowl's on.
That is so true. That is so true. So I just love him. We love you, Brent. A prayer protection today as we just surround ourselves with these words. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And let us stand and know that peace is possible.
There you go. It was some light work.